Hello there. How are you? Um, Trish here. I was going to take a few days off from posting videos and then post a big one on Friday, but I got inspired last night by a few people talking about their loving the Beatles and stuff. And here's my post. Um, okay, so let's see, my earliest memory of the Beatles, hearing them on the radio. And then, I think, I know, my brother had some of their records, and, my mom had this, like 1960s phonograph, portable phonograph. It was like, the ones you saw in schools and stuff in the 60s and 70s and 80s. I think they started to phase them out and replace them with CD players. But no, they still had them in the 80s. Um, yeah, because I remember the teacher would, I you know, was an aide to a girl, handicapped girl. The teachers would run the film strips and they'd have the record to go with it, or the tape, whatever the deal was. By the 80s, it was the tape. I'm sure in the 70s it was the record. Um, but anyway, well, I used to come home from school, have my little snack, and either go to the record player or my dad's 8-track player. It was mostly the record player in the late 60s. And my first album that of the Beatles that I fell in love with, I don't have in this pile, but I think it was Hey Jude. 'Cause I remember that being I believe my brother had that on 45. And, or what, no, it was Badfinger, Come and Get It. And then they had, Hey Jude on a record. I remember the Apple label spinning around and being a little kid and just sitting there and watch it spin around. My father going, "What are you doing?" But yeah, then I remember this other record with people walking across the street, and it was, of course, Abbey Road. And man, I played this thing like crazy when I was little. And yeah, then then as I got older, you know, I discovered other albums, and in high school I remember, no, yeah, high school I bought this is one of my first albums I bought for myself. Played this thing like crazy. Um, yeah, played it like crazy. Took it to parties, gatherings, whatever. Um, then as I would ask for other Beatles records for my birthday. This was one of them. This was one of them. Oops, I dropped that one. I better pick the. Oops. Okay, hold on. I'm really felling this up. Yeah, this was another one. But these two were amongst my favorite. Then I got Abbey Road, Hey Jude, and oh my gosh. And then there was this radio station, and they would have breakfast with the Beatles. And if I remember the poll letters correctly, it was Q107.1, which is now a country music station. Um, Oh yeah, and last year, or was it the year before, I got this. I wear it often and love it. Yeah. No, maybe it was a black one I had last year, but yep. Does it have anything on the back? No. I have my blue Greatest Hits T-shirt too. I'm not sure where that is. I think it's in one of my drawers somewhere. But yeah, and of course last week I showed you my, the Beetle dolls or whatever figures, whatever you want to call them. Those are cool. I'm gonna keep them in the box for sure. Yes, and yeah, and then slowly, I came into the CD age. I slowly started collecting the Beatles on CD, and so I pretty much have all the Beatles CDs I want. Don't know if I have Hey Jude on CD. I think I do though. I think I do. I know I had it on album, and I think I have it on CD. My CDs have been switched around so much. It's like, oh, I don't, it's like, oh. But yeah, when I came, I, I still love playing this album. Of course, this is my sealed copy that came with that little box set George gave me a little over a year ago. I think I'm gonna keep this copy sealed though, even though it has, what does that say? Newly remastered audio deluxe package, new liner notes and rare photographs, enhanced CD, mini documentary for Mac or PC. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this sealed or open it. What do you think? I'd like to see the mini documentary. I would. Yeah. Mm. But yeah, I remember in 8th grade, you know, I was still, young and really didn't know the Beatles individually until like 9th or 10th grade, where I, tried to figure out who was who. 8th grade, I didn't know. I had most of the earlier ones, but I didn't know who was who. Who was John, who was Paul, you know. But eventually, I figured it out. And let's see, my favorite Beatle, I would have to say it's Paul. And here's why. Um, Although he's I think I love him because he's the most personable, is that a word? He seems the most down to earth and the most, like, approachable, I guess. Like, you could sit down and have a tea or a cup of beer with him and just, he's like just the everyday guy. Doesn't seem like a guy like, oh, well, I'm the best. You know, even last night, I don't know if anybody of you have saw that tribute last night on CBS. They were saying, he got up on stage. It says it seems funny that we're doing a tribute to ourselves, but and they go, someone stopped them on the street. Goes, no, no, man, you don't understand. You were a, impact on a whole, the whole world, and a lot of other bands that, that were on there, verified that. Like David Grohl, he said, if it weren't for the Beatles, there wouldn't be a Foo Fighters, a this, a that, a, and he, it would, I would, I wouldn't have gotten into music, and I think that's, so true. And a lot of bands were, if a lot of young boys and girls were influenced by the Beatles and said, hey, I'd like to be that, do that, get into music, And that's why, even like Gene Simmons of Kiss, credits the Beatles to why they got into rock and roll, And like David Grohl, Kiss, just like the Beatles credited their success to Little Richard and Buddy Holly, And for those of you who are Beatles haters but Kiss lovers, remember that. Kiss wouldn't have even existed if it weren't for the Beatles. The Foo Fighters wouldn't existed if it weren't for the Foo Fighters. Metallica wouldn't have been, a lot of the bands you love were directly influenced and inspired by the Beatles. So I think you should give the Beatles another chance. Well, that's my tribute to the Beatles. Thank you, John, Paul, and George. I love you all. All right. And God bless George and John, who are no longer with us. I'm sure they're smiling from above. I'm sure that, like, oh my God, last night when Paul said that, he goes, and we dedicate this to John and, oh man, John and George, just thinking about that, I teared up. I definitely did. So, that's my little, my favorite Beatles song? I had to think about this. Pardon me, I'm getting a little misty. There are so many. I love them all, but I think the one that stands out as a memory when I was a little kid, is Hey Jude. I think that was the first, or was it Penny Lane? I think it was Hey Jude, and then Penny Lane, which, is Penny Lane on this, or, yeah, Penny Lane is on Magical Mystery Tour, correct? Yes, correct. Okay, so, and, I can't really name my favorite Beatles song, but I can pretty much say it's Penny Lane. My first memory of Beatles music was Penny Lane. Because I remember being on the bus going to school and hearing that and going, wow. And, yeah, I guess I don't know, the bus driver had a radio in our bus or something, or his bus, and they played that. I'm like, I like that. And then later when I heard it, I'm like, that's a song, that's a song. And then when I came home, we had the Hey Jude album, and I love that song. Play it over. Hey Jude, da 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 da. And I'm not sure if I think the song that still gives me a warm feeling inside is yeah, well, they all give me a warm feeling inside. Ugh. But my earliest Beatles song I remember hearing was Penny Lane, but my favorite Beatles song that, brought me happiness when I came home from a day from school was Hey Jude. Okay, I'm getting that straight in my memory. I'm having like flashbacks attack. Bam, 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 bam. I'm gonna say my favorite Beatles song, or one of the top 10. It's definitely in the top 5. It's Hey Jude. So there's my little Beatlesque tribute. I'd pull more of my Beatles stuff out, but that would make this video an hour long. It really would. And not that they're worth it, but they're really worth it. But I don't know if you guys could stand me for an hour, nevertheless, 15 minutes. Okay, on that note, I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. I love you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Peace, love, and keep the good tunes spinning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Bye.